So I'm gonna tell you guys that I think these are freaking awesome. I've thoroughly been enjoying these a ton, but what I can also say is that there's some work that still has to be done regarding these, right? These overall have been a really great experience for a lot of like multimedia things, getting immersed in content consumption, and all of the things that virtual reality brings to the table. I'm gonna walk you guys through the ups and downs that I've personally experienced, the reasons I think this is still going to be like a pretty solid deal, considering that this is going to cost you half as much as the Apple Vision Pros, but also why you should temper your expectations in terms of like what you're actually getting here, right? So to be completely honest with you guys, before I even picked up the XR, I didn't look into how to set this up or how any of this works. So just good old-fashioned Puerto Rican trial and error. If you know, you know. So when you first take this out the box for the first time, you're going to have the headset, and then directly underneath of that, you're going to have a box with different accessories, cables, chargers, and also extra padding for the headset, as well as these little eye cover things that you have down on the bottom. The headset itself is actually really easy to adjust. You have this little knob here, and you can make it longer and shorter. But there are a couple of different add-on pieces, right? So you have like this little thing here that kind of looks like but very simply, that slots right into the top of the headset. Boom, super easy, just some extra padding. And they have like these little eye shields to kind of give you that more immersive experience. These are super duper easy to just like clip in and clip off right there. And then this is the battery pack here, which you're actually going to keep the Galaxy XRs plugged into, so that way you can actually use them. The power cable that goes from the headset into the actual battery pack goes in this little kind of like silo here. And then this side one is where you're actually going to plug in like your wall charger or the charger that comes in the box to charge the battery pack, so that way you can actually use these. And I think that's actually pretty simple. It really wasn't rocket science getting this actually set up. And what I can say is that battery life wise with the battery pack, you are getting about 2 to 2.5 hours worth of usage. In terms of the actual navigation, I find that the eye tracking is pretty darn accurate, though the actual gesture controls and the smoothness in which it's actually registering my finger pinches is not as smooth as you would like to see on these. So what's great here is that they do have the sensors down on the bottom here to actually register your finger pinching when it's underneath of your eyes. But you kind of have to be like not in a gray area at all, right? And so what I mean is that if the goggles are here, you are either going to have your hand very obviously in visible view, or you're going to have them like all the way down here. You can't really have them in between area because the goggles are going to register that sometimes as a false input for when you're looking at your hand to activate like the little pop-it window to go home or look at your other windows that are open. I don't necessarily think that's a deal breaker, just something a little bit annoying, a little bit of a learning curve to get used to. Now, I do think that's something that can absolutely be refined with software, but in my time using, say, like the Apple Vision Pro, that is pretty much near perfect. Like for example, if the Apple Vision Pro is a 10 out of 10 in terms of consistency and responsiveness, I would say that these so far at least have been closer to like a 7.5 out of 10, where most of the time it does work, but you have those instances where sometimes you're trying to like pinch something, grab something, drag something, and it just doesn't quite register it. Again though, this being the first time that Samsung is doing this and Samsung's track record, right, looking at their phones, kind of like, you know, their Galaxy folding phones and just software in general for like the Galaxy S20 series, the Note series. Software is something that they've gotten better with over time, and I have faith here that that's something that's going to be refined over the lifespan of the Galaxy XR, right? But I can't promise that. That's just something that I'm kind of surmising with my experience with other Samsung devices. So 7 out of 10 in terms of the responsiveness there. Now, something I have been pretty pleasantly surprised with the Galaxy XR headset is the AI features that you're getting built in here, right? So you have the OK commands for like your OK Google and to access Gemini assistants as well on this. And I can say that that's actually been really, really cool in terms of having the headset on, looking at something that I'm wondering about and wanting to get more information on, or being able to use the circle to search function to get more relevant information on that particular thing. All right, and so if you guys are wondering how to actually use the circle to search function, you just kind of look at your palm, hold this square down, the Google icon will open up. And now you'll be able to say, for example, I want to circle this Goku here. Boom. I get this little panel giving me some information. I do wish it activated just a little bit quicker, but not bad. The only other part of that has been a little bit janky, and this goes back to, again, just in terms of the actual recognition and the consistency in which this detects your actual finger. When you're actually trying to do the circle search, sometimes that detection is not as smooth as you would like, right? Like when you're circling something on your phone, that's very smooth. Here, sometimes the line is a little bit jagged, and actually completing it can be a little bit awkward at times. But overall, the actual intelligence here that you're getting packed into the headset is really, really nice. And again, really hoping that as time goes on, software refinements in terms of the actual hand tracking for when you're trying to do the circular search is something that's in tow too. Now, what you're getting here in terms of quality for your eyes are two 4K micro LEDs. What I can say is that clarity-wise, this actually looks quite good. Color accuracy I find to be pretty darn accurate. The actual sharpness and clarity that you're getting on these in pass-through mode compared to the Apple Vision Pro, it's not quite as clear. I still think they're better than, say, like the Meta Quests for sure, but you're not getting the equivalent of what you're getting over on like the $3,500 Apple Vision Pros. You're just not. What I can say is that in terms of actual experience, when things are well lit, things look really, really good. When you're playing, say, YouTube videos or watching multiple NBA games, which, by the way, I screen recorded a whole segment trying to demonstrate the actual NBA Live app, because you get like $1,000 worth of software packaged with your purchase of the Galaxy XR headset, so that way you can actually have things to utilize them with. And the NBA Live app is super awesome. Being able to have multiple games on at once in front of you is great. But when you try and record them, I'm guessing it's like a permissions licensing thing. You can hear the audio, but you can't actually see the games happening. But believe me, they're there and they look great. And the pass-through here while you're going through the world around you, I think overall is really quite good. Though in low light situations, it's really not the best, right? Where things, when they get dark, get really grainy. Definitely something to be improved upon for the next one. That's a limitation that I don't think is fixable with software, unlike the actual tracking stuff. Now, something here too that is definitely a plus is the amount of app support that you're getting on the Galaxy XR headset, right? Where unlike the Apple Vision Pro, there are like very specific curated apps for that. Here, you basically get access to most of the Google Play Store, I want to say. I mean, you can do things like Lightroom and Canva, so I can literally edit pictures for thumbnails for the videos here on the channel. And then you also get like different immersive experience apps, you get different game apps, you get the NBA apps, of course. And again, when you're buying the actual headset, you're getting packaged like $1,000 worth, near, I would say, of actual content and apps that you can use on this, which I think is smart on their part, right? Because some of the applications on the App Store that are curated for the XR experience, you do have to pay for. So having some things kind of taken off the tab for you is definitely a really nice plus, I think. Something too that's definitely nice is actually going through, like, say, your Google Photos and reliving really old memories and pictures and videos on this. Ones that I haven't seen in a really long time. There's something different seeing it on, say, your phone screen and actually seeing it in front of you playing live. You feel like you're kind of like in your brain looking back on a memory, and it's the closest thing to feeling like you're reliving it. It's a really unique experience. It's something that you can do on the Apple Vision Pro too, for sure. Something that you are missing here though is that you're not getting that 3D parallax depth experience with reliving those memories the way you are on the Apple Vision Pro. If I had to guess, again, that's one of those things software-wise I do think is going to be coming to the headset, but again, I can't promise that. That's just something that would make way too much sense, and I feel like, generally speaking, Samsung has a pretty good track record in terms of improving things software-wise. And if you want to activate like the immersive mode where you're put like into a field or something, you just double tap this part here, and then double tap it again to go to the pass-through mode. What I can say about the immersive mode is that it just doesn't look as good as on the Apple Vision Pro. It just flat out doesn't. The actual rendering of the things in front of you, like the rocks and the grass and stuff, just doesn't look great. The things in the distance are more realistic. They look pretty good. But then when you look down at your feet and at your surroundings, it kind of breaks the immersion, to be honest. I'm personally someone that I don't use the immersive mode all that much. So for me, I don't really care, but you know, it's one of those things. I'm reviewing this. I need to be honest with you guys about all different kinds of aspects. And so even though I don't care, you might care. And just so you know, at the time of me recording this, would kind of need to be more fine-tuned and refined to really make it like a for sure go buy this thing, right? Namely, really like the gesture controls and kind of the accuracy and consistency and reliability with which this is actually doing the things that you want it to do, right? Wait, I dropped something. Oh, it's over there. I will get it after. But as a whole, this is pretty darn cool. Not being able to actually stream your phone's content to the glasses is definitely a miss with Smart View. You can do it from the headset to your Galaxy phone, but not vice versa, which is strange. And as a whole, comfortability-wise, this is fine on my head. I can't say that I've been able to have this on for like a full 2 hours. It's hard to find time in a day-to-day. But what I can say is that having this on for like 30, 40 minutes, close to an hour, I haven't had any problems in terms of like my head feeling heavy, uncomfortable, like this is cumbersome. After a while, it becomes very organic and you're just kind of having this on your head and you're just kind of like doing the thing. It's very immersive in that way, and I think that's great. For the $1,800 price tag, it is nice that you're getting all of that additional software to complement this. Though I can see why for a lot of people this would probably be a hard buy right now. Again, when they refine some of the software things and allow some of the other aspects to be more easily done and open some things up and allow other features to be sort of accessed, I think this is something that more people will jump onto. But at the moment, in terms of like the first week of these being out, I would say maybe wait for a few more refinements and software updates, right? Unless you're someone that wants the absolute bleeding edge, this is really awesome. I've been enjoying my time with this, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I will get to as many of you guys as I possibly can. Man, this is so cool. Anyway, have a fantastic remainder of your day, afternoon, or night, depending on the time you are watching this. And as always, peace, love, adios, bye guys, and have a great day.